Welcome to the Chronic Minds podcast. I'm your host Ray here with my man's Real AF, Dre as well. You know what I'm saying? So, we're at another day. It's been a minute since we did the last podcast drop, at least for the first episode or whatever. But I think like going forward, we're kind of like changing up a bit because the first time we definitely mentioned it was gonna be three hosts, and it might be more so two or a mix of us, or we might just be kind of more of guests towards each other. It just depends. But just to kind of get it going and whatever, we just gotta just put more content out there because we've been taking our time. So um, yeah, I mean, but how you living, Dre? How's life treating you and whatnot?
I'm good, bruh. I'm straight. I've been enjoying my time so far. A lot of stuff going on, but a lot of good stuff. You know, getting out of the DMV and moving out to Oregon and just taking some time to really enjoy my life, bruh. I'm still young. Gotta have my legs work still while I want to do stuff. I ain't trying to be 80 and be like, oh damn, let me move out to the most expensive city on the West Coast. Let me move to LA or Seattle or something. Like, nah, bro. 80, that's whenever I'm looking to go back to like put me in like a hood in like Korea or something, bro. Simple living. You feel me? No taxes paid.
Yeah,
Social security check is living too good. You know what I'm saying? Like you living too good. You ain't struggling. You ain't paying fucking two bands in rent trying to live decent at 80. Hell no, bro. I'm trying to go see the places I want to see while I'm young and enjoy it before I have to retire. Then because it's not like money keep coming in forever.
nah,
You feel me? I ain't Jeff Bezos.
nah, nah, for sure, bro. Cause you already know, man. Like it is kind of crazy with the times, whatnot. Cause man, like if you really ain't got no college degree or whatnot, you out there just going after high school, or even if you did some college, like bro, it ain't easy trying to get no bread around here, man. And it ain't really trying to give it to nobody for real, like, because with us being Oklahoma City natives and stuff, we know what it is with that minimum wage, bro. That minimum wage is something different. I know you probably like. I think you actually moved out here before you actually had to start working for real, didn't you?
Yeah,
Moved out
minimum
to
wage was like
East Coast, and then now you out the West Coast.
yeah, that's true. But the minimum wage while I was there was still like bare. I think it was like 11, maybe even cheaper than that. Like you was getting paid pretty much pennies in
Yeah.
comparison to like I remember whenever I moved out to Maryland, they was talking about Target, Chick-fil-A, people, just in general, I guess just around the state was like 13 or so. I think that was like minimum wage whenever I was working like a few years back in Maryland. After that, I took a big jump out of minimum wage, and that
Oh yeah. With some other jobs, but nah, it's kind of crazy, man, because you really can't even survive out here, bro. Like it's hard to even survive out here, like living on your own without like a decent job type shit. Like if you got, what I'm saying, like you definitely gonna need at least a roommate, bro. Because like I really think there's like a map out there online somewhere. Don't quote me, could be wrong about like the most affordable places in the U.S. just based off of like minimum wage or something like that, bro. And it's basically nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like if you were trying to live by yourself off of like just the bare minimum of what's being provided, doing a 40-hour a week
minimum wage
schedule,
is nothing, bro. Minimum wage is absolutely nothing, bro. You want to? I heard a crazy stat that most Americans don't even have $1,000 in their bank account for a rainy day scare. Like that's bro. Like my parents is like anomalies if I'm thinking about it because I'm like, damn, they really took care of themselves. And certain people really took care of themselves, but the majority of Americans got stuck in a pretty shitty situation and we don't have a way of getting our money the way that we're supposed to get our money and survive because the inflation out here is ridiculous. I remember whenever I could go somewhere like here in Portland, I don't go out and get takeout for anything less than $10. There's nothing less than $10 unless you're getting a drink, which is like four. You know what I'm saying? Like $3, $4, bro. Oh, go get your little matcha latte or whatever you be getting at your damn little coffee shops wherever the hell else. But you come out here, shit, 3, 4, 5, $6 like damn Starbucks, and you be broke pretty quick. Like it's expensive. And I remember whenever I could find like meals, I was saying to my girlfriend, I was like, bro, like there was a time where there was a lunch special for $6.99 in Maryland, like at the Carrot Place, and I saw that joint go to $7.99. Then I saw it go to $8.99, and I'm glad I left before I saw it hit double digits, because the food was so good, and the thing about it was affordable, was made me want to go there, and it's like, damn, bro, like watching it go downhill like this just tells me it ain't the business owners' fault. A lot of it ain't the business owners. It's like what they gotta buy. It's the big people like Purdue if they got chicken. It's the or meat, whatever, bro. It's the big tech companies that charge you 1,000 bands for your computers type shit. So I understand.
Yeah, those POS systems and whatnot. I mean, everything comes to play, bro. And then you gotta pay employees too, bro. It's a whole line of things. But like, I don't know, man. That's why even with like recently with that whole Silicon Valley Bank incident, like, even just imagining that, you know, a bunch of like startup companies or a bunch of accounts, just a mass number of people over the course of like literally 2 3 days, it's a movement of $42 billion, bro, out of there, like withdrew from the bank, bro, just so people could secure whatever funds they could at that point. But it's like, dog, like the banks don't just have 42 billion ready to give anybody. And then like on top of that, you know what I'm saying? If everybody does it, it makes it harder for whoever's last to get their money. But even if you go into like that whole idea of like FDIC insured, like bro, $250,000 means nothing if you have a bill, bro. A billion, 1,000 millions, bro, 1,000. So 200,000 is only a quarter of a mil. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know, man. I know times are just gonna get crazier as it keeps going, because like even with like the Federal Reserve, anybody keeping up with Jerome Powell or any of that, like they just keep raising the interest rate by whatever amount of base percentage points. I think like at one point it was like, you know, uh or they might talk about like raising it like double a percentage or something like that. But even before, whenever it was, because really inflation was just like a speeding car they were trying to slow down. And you already know if the car is already going and it's speeding, you really just waiting to see where it crash at. You know what I'm saying? How far is it gonna go until it crash? You don't know. It depends on the road we taking that on. But like, nah. It's a bad time, bro. Cause honestly, man, like even when you think like not most Americans don't even have $1,000 in the bank account, bro. The ones that do have some money, it's about to be some tough times, bro. Tough times, especially over there in California. It's expensive to live, expensive to eat. You over there in Oregon right now, bro. Sure, I don't know if it'll ever trickle up your way or anything like that, but you know,
Like in comparison to anywhere else, it's bad. It's bad. Like, I'm not about to cap, bro. It's
I
bad.
mean,
But what I was gonna say, even before that, before I get into that, like the Ponzi scheme, this kind of reminds me of the Ponzi scheme with Bernie Madoff, where it was like, bro, people got to realize that this man, these people don't. For insurance companies, I know this for a fact, and I don't want to speak upon which insurance company because I feel like that might get me in trouble of some sorts. But like they invest in other things too. Like some of that money's tied up in their buildings, bro. Like some of your cash is tied up
it's
into
true.
the where they work at, where you go do da 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 da, so on and so forth. And then when you need it, they can pull it out. But if you got a whole bunch of people, then you start looking like Bernie. Am I wrong? You can't. Too many people asking you for
No,
your $500,000. You done spend it, bro. Put it like this: a lot of these people, in comparison to banks, these people don't spend your money. They don't spend it, and if they do spend it, they get it back. They know how they have ways of getting it back, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's gonna be right there in your hands right then in that moment. You might have to fight for it. So
mm-mm.
it's just a matter of time, and that actually perpetuated some of that stock market crash in '08 too, which is crazy. So, like people investing their money in a lot of small Ponzi schemes, and people now realizing what that shit means for the future. And if that shit crashes, again, it's like that speeding bullet. How long does it take? Because you don't get your returns for a bit, bro. You might sit until that man don't have the money no more. You gonna get your, oh yeah, give me 6,000 out of my account. I need 6,000. You gonna get the 6,000, but the day you ask all of your shit out of there, he gonna be begging for cash. He gonna be scrapping. He gonna be like, nah, wait, just
Nah,
keep it
for
in here though. Keep it in here. Because what about the big
but
shorty
here's the
that's
thing though,
asking you
like
for 100 mil, bro? You know what I'm saying? And then that's why he asking for
it's
cash. He grabbing for cash. You know?
I mean, this is real, bro. I mean, that's the kind of like the sad part about it is like, no matter what you're doing in life, you always taking risk. But with your money, it's a risk no matter what, bro. Just because like either somebody's trying to get it, you gotta pay bills, or again, you try to make more of it, but it costs money to make money. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you never know what risk you taking that you're gonna fall on. It don't mean that every risk it doesn't have like possibilities where it might not work out much more than another risk, but a risk is still a risk after that. It's still a chance things are gonna fail. But like even in a bank situation, bro, like at some point, once the collapse happens, regulators can take over and then help, mitigate the
That's what I'm
rest of the
saying.
funds. But it's
You
like
could get it back,
even if they
but
even if they do that, yeah, but even if you but like you saying, you're gonna
you
have
may
to
not get.
wait. You're
Yeah,
gonna have to
you
wait.
may not even get the full
It's
balance
not
back.
gonna be
Let's be
instant.
real. You like if you were one of them people that
Nope.
had over that 250 bands or whatever they are calling the line to be. Once the regulators step in, you out of luck, fool. Sorry, they gonna work their best to try and do whatever
That's
they
it.
can, but I mean, I done heard the horror stories already. There's a situation with a scholarship program in Maryland that there's people like protesting and going out for bills or putting up, protesting the bill, I guess, in and of itself or whatever it was that kind of screwed it up, or I don't know. They had some issue with the funding and the interest rates of people's money. Like they put money in for their kids' college fund essentially, and they got interest rates, but apparently the interest rates are wrong, and now they don't have access to that money. So all the people that are in school right now don't have access to essentially money that their parents save to put towards their rent, to put towards their books, to put towards their. Now they trying to fight it. People stepping in, but it's like they gotta wait for one. So certain kids gonna be dropping out. Be brutally honest with you, or taking a gap year, doing whatever they gotta do. And then certain other kids, certain parents, they gonna like I said, they gonna wait for their money, or they may not even get the full amount back, which is crazy that they put in because they put it in to that plan expecting that it would be a particular amount. Just to like being brutally honest, you told them the interest rates and what it would look like, and if you don't give them that amount back, like to me, I got scammed. You know what I'm saying? Like I got scammed, bro. That's like
Yeah,
money.
yeah. And that's the sad part about it is like with an investment, risk of it is you can't risk what you're not willing to lose, but you already know like you saying, people don't have the funds to risk anything, honestly. Like what they have is what all they got. You know what I'm saying? So when they risk it, it's always risking it all. It's always risking a lot because if you lose it, you're set back. And when you set back, it takes double plus the time to get back to where you even feel stable again. Not even back to where you were. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because where
true
you
that.
were is already far gone.
Where you were is far gone, and that tells you that if you're still at where you were, you fight back to where you were. That tells you that you're still susceptible to having it possibly happen again. And if you really don't want it to happen again, and you don't want to get scammed, you're gonna work even harder. So you're right. You're gonna go 2 times hard. You're gonna go 2 times as hard because you can't just
Two
go
times
back to where
plus
you was
some.
at.
Plus
Yeah,
some.
you can't just go back to where you were because that's just gonna put you in the same situation, and you gotta work just as hard to get back there anyway. So if you're gonna work that hard, you might as well just go ahead and double down. But I mean, in general, yeah, it's a pretty shitty situation around the world, bro. I mean, you were asking just in general about like, is it leaking up here? Yeah, like yeah. I mean, like I'll put it like this: Cali is way more expensive in every facet possible than Oregon. But if you wanted to take Oregon and slap it against fucking Oklahoma or North Dakota or Idaho or Nevada or any other state, probably within reason, again, outside of the East Coast, New York, maybe certain portions of Florida, certain portions of the DMV, Washington, D.C., all of that. obviously Cali, so Los Angeles, San Francisco, all of that, the Bay Area, North, NoCal, SoCal, Texas. Certain portions of Texas is getting a little bit out of hand, getting a little ridiculous. And Washington State above us is just in the
Yup.
same. They're in the same position as us for real. Utah is starting to get into that, like, because a lot of people go from California to Texas or Utah because it's getting so expensive, which is pushing their housing prices up and their cost of living up too, because everybody in the neighborhood saying my value is this. I bought this big house out here. The amenities are great, and then you ready to sell, and then all the people around you selling for $1 million, and you know, hey, it ain't helping nobody out. But here in
Yeah, look,
particular,
I
it's
mean,
expensive, bro. I mean, like most apartments, you find them 2 bedrooms, you can get about 1,700, 1,800 a month. That sound like reasonable to a certain degree, but I mean that's like the cheapest you could find. The cheapest you can find. Like if you wanted a nice one downtown with a garage where you might not get robbed, you looking at least 2,200, bro. For the 2 bedroom, yeah, the shit it hurt the pockets. It looked like a damn fucking, like you gotta pull out
cause
a loan every
uh,
month. It's crazy.
nah, nah, no, no, no. My fault. You cut out a bit. What was that last part?
I said it's like
Cause
you gotta pull out a
we was
loan
getting
every
up.
month.
You was like, no, yeah, yeah. I mean, it feels like that, and then you already know what those loans. That's extra interest,
Yeah,
and then that depends on your credit. It depends on what you got to put up for that loan. So,
yeah.
nah,
So
it's all bad, bro. Because even on the business expense, like my bad to even mention this shit. Even on the business part, they have loans they have to pay. That's a whole different problem. Like, what I'm saying? Like most of that money in the bank or whatever, or most of the credit lines that they have with those banks, if that bank is crashing, they have no access to those credit lines. Therefore, trying to pay loans and trying to pay all these other things, that much harder, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I could only imagine like if you're making so much money and your bills are so high and then you had to pay your bills that you can't access none of your funds right now. They're not trying to hear, man, I can't do it.
yeah.
They can't. They no one's
Your
tne's trying to hear
work
that,
is
bro.
gonna look at
No
you
one's
like,
not.
bro, yeah, you tweaking. I mean, like I said,
Yeah.
it's super bad. Like it's expensive out here. I don't know if you heard me say it's like if you want a nice apartment that you're not gonna get robbed in, it's about $2,200 a month. You know what I'm saying? You want the cheapest thing you can find, maybe about $1,700 a month, unless you're doing like what we doing, where you get like a student place where they're trying to help out people, right? Like a nonprofit organization that runs the building, and we put the money in to just essentially keep the building running. That's it. Like, you know. So
Yeah.
it's
But at the same time, like that's your
go ahead.
best thing, and that's student like assistant living type thing. You know what I'm
That
saying?
shit
So it's
is
kind of like, like
at its
it's
worst. It's bad. People are homeless out here. Like I mean, homeless out
bro,
here.
the homeless community is just gonna keep growing, bro. It's so crazy. Like it's definitely probably something wild, especially in bigger cities, just all around. You know what I'm saying? DC's crazy. Anybody that probably talks to anybody that goes to LA, it's probably the first thing they ask is like how the homelessness is, the
I'm
housing,
telling you, I was
all that.
just
It's just
there
getting
in
worse.
December. I was just in LA. We visited Skid Row in December, bro. It was ridiculous. It was wild. Like I mean, in Portland, like I said, it ain't it ain't worse, but it's getting just as bad. Like it's like it don't for certain people. I think that there's like progression, but there's also like I don't think that they just see that these people are moving to other portions of the city, like where it used to be bad at. Yeah, they moved them. They got tired of having people show up to Voodoo Donuts in Portland and seeing lines of size, like one of our main attractions here, and that's the first thing you see is like lines of homeless people just cooling out there. But even then, it's like, all right, you think they disappeared? No, they just moved to an area where they won't get brutally tormented by cops or people until it gets that bad again, and then the cops realize, oh, they all back over here, and then they go move them out again. But like for what I see, bro, it's wild. Like people don't have too many places to go. People people don't necessarily have like a standard for what they're like willing to do or willing to get by on, and it's not like they really can. It's not like a lot of these people have like the opportunity or the choice to go get help. Some of them try, but it's like, bro, what are you able to do when you got a felony? You can't work in certain places, bro. If you a drug addict, You ain't got no food. Your family disowned you. There's no way for you to get a car, for you to get to your damn job interview or get some money to go Uber. The most you could do is maybe rob somebody or beg for some cash. And that right there is probably going to your fucking $12 meal or your damn drugs. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard, bro. Like
Bro,
it's hard for
like
certain people out here.
it's hard. It's hard, bro. Like it's crazy you even say that, bro. Because it's one thing like the state of the condition of just how they gotta live, but then when you start to talk about their mind, bro, because once you go into survival mode, you're not worried about nothing else but surviving, bro. Surviving, and that's really kind of like our main motives in life is that we all just want to survive. Like all this society community around us, like we established that helps us get through life easier. It helps us establish things, and we're able to kind of build our conscious, mind, whatever way it wants to go. Each individual person contributing to society, but it's like once you start kind of putting people in these kind of pitfalls and stuff, bro, it's only downhill from there. You know what I'm saying? And then we're all we have to focus on all other types of nonsense going on. All types of nonsense going on, whether it be with some time ago was the Johnny Depp Amber Heard case. Some time ago it was, what I'm saying, we're worried about
Social
Trump. We're worried
media
about
activists,
who's
not the
saying,
social justice activists, the social media activists. Your attention span
yes,
is
yes,
cut
bro.
every other day, bro.
Bro, literally every other day, but it's like there's so much more going on, like even outside of our country, outside of just, what I'm saying, just the banking system, financial systems, like, it literally is like everybody's going through it. Everybody, like nobody is free or susceptible to it. Like if you're in a
COVID,
stable
bro.
mind, stable place right now, like you're very fortunate. You know what I'm
Or you
saying?
just
Because it's
crazy,
like,
bro. Or you just crazy.
yeah,
Or you
yeah, or
just
you just
crazy.
crazy. You just crazy, bro. Yeah, yeah.
Because you
You know
must have
what?
not
They
seen,
might just
you
be
just
crazy,
don't
bro.
see everything else that's happening around you. If you in a stable mind right now, you just don't care to see
Mm-mm.
what's happening. Because me personally, that's where I say, how can somebody be in a stable mind if outside, I mean, maybe in their personal life they could be in a stable mind, but like, how can you be in a stable mind just watching the rest of this shit going on? I think you'd be pretty insane. Like, you got to be a pretty like oblivious person. Because again, like I'm not cooling
Well,
with knowing that there's people still starving in other places. I'm not cooling with knowing that again we got issues with our banking system. I'm not cooling with knowing that our democracy is not a democracy. I'm not cooling with the fact that we go over to other countries and force them into their democracies. You know, I'm not cooling with people still getting told what they can and cannot wear. I'm not cool with people getting told what they can and cannot push out of their bodies. I'm getting tired of nigga. This is ridiculous. You know
well,
what
I
I'm
mean,
saying? Like,
it's kind of crazy because it's not. The thing is we're not really like at least America. I don't. I could be wrong. I'm not no gov. I ain't none of that. I mean, like all I can say is that we're a democratic republic, but nah, I hear you completely. Like there's too much going on, but ignorance is bliss, bro, and that's why some people just literally just. What I'm saying? They stop looking at the news, they stop paying attention to social media, and they literally just kind of like
that's
divorce
the
it
only
all
thing you
together
can
because it's
do,
easier
though.
to just
That's really
that's
the
it to
like if
keep
you
your
want
mind
to
straight.
enjoy. I was gonna say if you want to enjoy your life, you don't want to think about all the struggles in the world. The only thing you can do, I give you two options. You can shut up and be a part of the system and do what you got to do, or you could go out into the woods, turn off all the lights in your crib, and not leave any more, exposure to, susceptible pollution and shit, and take your ass out to the woods and see how well you fare off against the bears and the wolves and all the lions, and start, some Darwin shit back again, bro. And see how long you last. That's what humans were first before all of this extra shit. We was just out there outside with the rest of them. So like I feel like our population, yeah, it's not big. I heard that our population is actually declining from certain sources. I don't fucking know. My point is, it's big enough. It's big enough to the point where we've taken up a lot of space, bro. And all the places that are reasonably habitable places.
Keep it going. But nah, like that's the crazy part, bro. Like all of it just comes together. It's kind of crazy you even say it with the Darwinism because, bro, we're still animals at the end of the day. We don't really like change away from that. We still got a lot of like hormones and a lot of instincts that we're still gonna try to want to do. We're still gonna want to love. We still want to live. You still have to
Domesticated
go outside.
animals. We are domesticated
We
animals.
are.
Have
We
you
are
ever seen
domesticated
cats
animals. Like,
whenever they just start spazzing out and want to like jump on the wall and like pounce on some shit? But they wouldn't hurt you for the most part. They might actually bite you or give you a little, nip or scratch you or whatever. But it ain't about to be nothing to the point where you got to go to the hospital. A dog, on another note, bigger creature, they might snag your leg. You've seen dogs lash back, and it ain't like sometimes it ain't even like they
no.
got to know who the fuck you are. They're just still dogs, bro. And it's the same way how I related this to my parents the other day. It's like, bro, like people are still human. Like we still are able to go out there and have the willingness to say, yo, I'm gonna go kill this man with my bare hands, even though I'm gonna go live in jail for the rest of my life. Like I know the consequences, we know the rules. We know we'll more than likely get caught, and we'll still go out there and kill another creature. The same way we kill another cow or kill another chicken or kill another, you know, shit, bro. We still animals, bro, and
No.
we still act like animals. And I personally am not. I don't believe in what do they call humanity? Is that the word that people like to use? Humanity, because we're just apes, bro. Big ass apes, overly intelligent apes that
Um,
got too good
I
for
wouldn't
ourselves,
even.
bro.
I wouldn't even say humanity. I think it's more so like you're. I think you're on. You're saying you're speaking more on like being civilized or civilization. How we separate ourselves from animals, but we're still somewhere in that animal kingdom. But I mean, the only thing that really puts us above is just our intellect. What I'm saying, the fact that we can kind of like come together as a group, build, forage, whatever. All of our past ancestors, many, many, many years ago, in the span of time. Because even when we speak in the terms of like years the Earth's been around in the universe, like dog, speaking in terms of 150 years, it means nothing. It's a very small thing. But like at the same time, there's so much that we're still evolving. What I'm saying? Because that's the other thing about it. It's not like we haven't evolved. Like you're saying, we used to be something much more primitive. And really, like if we think back 1,000 years, what I'm saying? Again, we were much more primitive. If we think even back 200 years, crazy times. I can't even imagine to begin what they were doing in 1823,
Bro, they
bro.
was throwing shit out their windows in 1823. They didn't have fucking, no place to flush their shit. They was just throwing shit out the window and from a bucket. Like this is my point though. So I am thankful
What?
for
It's
certain
crazy you
things, but
even say that, cause toilet paper really, like, at least like the stuff we see like mass produced wasn't invented till like 1857. Even though like I think Japan or one Asian country out there had developed like some type of rice-based toilet paper in 1393 or something. But like, dog, like you're speaking on something there. I mean, we weren't even really wiping our ass with nothing. We were probably using salt water in our left hand, bro. You could only imagine. You could only imagine. But it's like even to think like 100 years from now, bro. I mean, we're just
now we got
another
niggas
line in the
that
timeline.
spray
Like,
our asses with water, bro, in Asia. Them niggas is on some different shit. First they got
yeah,
the
they are,
rice
bro.
based, bro. They care about their assholes a lot in Asia, fool. They said we keeping them
Nah,
motherfuckers
for sure, for sure.
pristinely clean, bro. That's crazy. Cause now weren't they the
Hey,
ones that
man, that's probably.
originally did the little the spray where you flush it and shit and it sprays up the water into your butt and shit. Isn't that wasn't that the
I
Asians that started
I
that?
think I don't know if it was Asians. You know what I'm saying? No, I
Or
don't
was it
like to be too. I don't know
the
if it's too.
European? I
It
think
was
it was
somebody. I know. I
Europeans,
know.
bro.
I know they
I'm
got
almost
them.
positive in Asia
Look,
they were
look.
the ones that did the automatic flush of toilet that sprays your ass and does the whole 9 yards. Huh?
Yeah, with a built-in
Where is
bidet.
it?
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but I think that was like
A
a Asian
bidet.
thing. It
That's
might
what
have
I
even been
would say. A
Japanese, bro.
bidet. So
Yeah,
was it
a
French?
bidet. Yeah, it's a bidet.
Is yeah, well, I mean, a bidet would imply
Look,
that
look,
it's
look,
French.
look, 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 look. French might made the bidet, but like what we're saying is when they made those toilets and brought them together, that might have been more of an Asian thing. Look, but we ain't no toilet bust, bro. We ain't history bust over the toilet. We just saying like it's innovative, it's crazy, and some time ago we were doing much less. You know what I'm
We were
saying? Or we
doing
were
a
doing.
lot
I mean, we
less.
were doing much more. We
Back
were doing a
then we
lot
were
more to get
doing.
the same job done.
Oh, I was gonna say back then. I guess we
Back
were
then
doing
we
a
were
lot
doing more.
more to get a
We were doing a
simple.
lot more. I'm just saying we didn't. We had a lot less. That's more of
Yeah,
what I meant to say. We had a lot less. We were doing a lot more. That's all it is. There's more options now. There's more potential now. But it's like at the same time, man, we're still just evolving. At one point, bro, imagine you never. It only goes up from here, bro. Like even if we think when we were young, like let's even if we want to stay away from the twitless, man, because you know shit's nasty. All
mm-hmm.
right, but like even if we go back to when we were young, bro, like kids nowadays, probably like middle school, elementary, they're using tablets, Chromebooks, all that, bro. You remember when we had to tote those backpacks? You had to get a new one like every year, every other year, every two, three, depending on how bad you tore up your bag. Basically, is when you got a new backpack, and you had to fill that hole with textbooks and carry that from the period beginning of the day to the end of the day, bro. You might have had a locker
Man,
at
I
some
ain't even
point,
think of
but
it
that
like
locker
that.
only,
Yeah,
bro, times are
I ain't
changing.
even
Like
think of
we're,
it like
I
that.
mean, bro, we're just in our 20s, bro. We're in our 20s, bro. Like
Bro,
a
you
kid looking
remember
up at
that
me at like 8 or
there was
10.
there was no iPads, bro. We had desktops. We had computer labs, fool.
You know what's crazy? You remember those iPod touches when they first came out, bro?
Yeah,
We were
yeah.
excited about that, man. We when people were on that dirty app kick, bro, and just going at it. You know what I'm saying? Just
Kick was
here or there
wild,
and
bro.
going stupid, bro. Kick was wild, and it
Back
just
whenever
kind of
we
just
used to
all
do
just transferred. Now we got
TBHs,
Snapchat.
back when we used to throw
Yes,
TBHs
that
on
used to be
Facebook
stupid
and shit.
too.
Yeah, I look back and
TVHs,
cringe
do
about it.
all these different.
Damn.
Oh, it's cringe city, bro. I went through. You know, you had to go through. So I don't know if you ever went through your old social media or just made a new account, bro, and just deleted all that because it's just a nasty time, bro. Because all you know, we just were so introduced to it, bro. People, you know, people had MySpaces. You know what I'm saying? When we were younger and stuff too. I mean, we came more towards on late into that, but it's like,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
I
Nah,
even
I
remember
remember
nigga
that.
people when they had MySpace. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Like Daryl
But
and them,
like,
bro.
you know, like we got older siblings, you know what I'm saying? So it was more their era, but like it's kind of crazy, bro. It's kind of crazy like how time's going. Like at some point, Twitter's just gonna I really feel like Twitter's just gonna be the new Facebook, bro, for us.
For
You
us,
know what I'm
we gonna
saying?
move
If
on
it's
from
not already
Twitter.
there.
I mean, personally, like I don't use Twitter. I feel like Instagram is gonna be that for me. Like I feel like that's just I'm gonna be the old nigga on Instagram. Just I don't know, but I don't know. I also don't know if Instagram is gonna get old because I don't know if too many other platforms that want to do Instagram shit outside of TikTok, which I hate TikTok. I'm gonna be brutally honest with you. Like this shit is very addicting, and it's also one of them joints that is like, bro, like I don't even know like where y'all get the idea that I'm gonna like some of this content, but you throw it at me anyway. And just to see if it sticks on the wall with me today or next week or whatever, I'm like, bro, we not doing this shit. One thing I do like about Instagram, outside of them just pushing naked women in front of my face, which I'm not gonna lie, I don't mind either. But outside of that, they get my shit pretty spot on. It's basketball, Juice World, you know, like you the list goes on. Like music shit, Nirvana, you know, like they get it all pretty much right. They get everything right there. Versus like with TikTok, bro, I don't feel like I be getting the right shit. I just be getting random ass people shit, and I gotta accept it. Random famous TikTokers on the regular, famous rappers, da 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 da. And it's like I didn't ask for to see none of these people, you know, to be brutally honest with you. Instagram's getting bad too. I literally was talking about how to unfollow people just because I want to see my friends post. You know?
Yeah. And then even the friends post, you know, you might see a post that was posted like 2, 3 days ago, and
Days
they posted
before.
something literally yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Or yeah, like you getting the one days before, and then the new one's like put at the back, and it's just like, bro, like if I already missed the old one, I missed the old one. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to re-show it to me because it's like, you know, I'm not thinking about like how old the post is when I like it. You know what I'm saying? So like I don't want to seem like I'm coming off to anybody that I'm literally scrolling down your Instagram page and liking your photos unless I am actually doing that. And most times I do that, bro, just to show people love, bro. Because at the end of the day, people be wanting likes anyway, and you know, ain't no telling if I'm boosting your numbers or not. But hey, one person, the more people add up, you know what I'm saying. But
For me,
like,
it's like I just want to
go
see
ahead.
content that's just genuine content. Like as an artist, like the underground rapper, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Like I got friends that make good ass music, but instead I get Blueface and his girl.
Yeah, I hate that.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
hate
Like
seeing Blueface and Krishan.
Krishan,
Like
yeah,
it's so crazy. Like bro,
and
it's
it's
all
like I
crazy.
don't
Cause it's like at
care,
the end of the
fool.
day,
Like
bro,
I
that's
haven't
another
listened to a Blueface.
distraction.
Yeah, I haven't listened to that. I haven't listened to that nigga in years.
Bro, all
Stop playing that shit
the
in my
only
face.
song I know is I.
Yeah,
That's it, bro.
Blueface,
That's it.
baby.
That's the old Blueface song. Yeah, Tatiana, bro. Tatiana. That's it.
This shit go
Any
crazy.
other
But
song
outside
by
of that,
Blueface, I
though,
don't even remember features.
features is trash. Yeah.
Outside of that, no other Blueface song. Man, and then they be on that network. You ever heard of Zeus TV?
Nah.
No.
But I
Nah.
also,
Okay.
bro,
Yeah. Yeah. I
I
mean, it
haven't
just
set up
be
my TV here yet. Still, bro. Like I've been watching everything on my laptop and just booling. Like I need to do all of the whole
uh uh
checking back in on shit. You
it's
know.
it's okay, man. I try to look into it. Honestly, in my opinion, I feel like it's just a lot of ghetto shows, and you just get kind of like a lot of reject stuff that probably regular people wouldn't even watch like that. Because you gotta pay for Zeus TV anyway. But it's like it's just a bunch of like if you're into like Housewives of Atlanta, or if you're into like Bad Girls Club, all that stuff, like
It's like
maybe that's more
Peacock or
so for
whatever.
you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's just another subscription like Peacock, but it's like even on there,
Bullshit.
bro. Not like
Like the
they probably got the
clubhouse of
show out
Peacock.
now, but
Is it like the clubhouse of Peacock?
maybe, yeah.
More so on the
I
black
guess
shit.
I
Do
would
they
describe
put
it
more
like
black
that.
shows on there and shit? Cause they
Yeah,
have like that type of shit for
they
like
put more black
They have
shows.
like an Asian one where my mama and my nana they be subscribing to like the Asian subscription channel, and all they show is just like you can find Chinese shows, Korean shows, Vietnamese shows, Filipino shows, like all different type of shit on there.
Well, that's the only thing. I don't think it actually shows channels as much as it's just kind of like
No,
show
these are just
premieres
like
or
yeah, no,
particular
it's
shows
like
on there.
streaming
Oh,
shows,
okay,
but for
got
like
you. Got
Asian
yeah,
culture
yeah, yeah,
instead of
yeah.
like getting a whole bunch of white
Got
people
you.
shit on Netflix or whatever. Netflix has been better though. Hey, I ain't gonna hold you. And I don't think they about to do shit
Netflix
about
is
that
getting
password
better.
shit. They have I don't think they about to do nothing about that password shit. I heard that they stopping that. And then on top of that, they're doing a lot better, bro. Like I be fucking with the Korean shows on there. You know I'm Korean. I love my little Asian culture. I love getting in there, bro. Fool, they got some shit. Like they actually putting out shit that I'm like, bro, like thank you, son. Like I needed some different culture because at the end of the day, I remember when Squid Game came out, what was it, a year, 2 years ago now? And that shit was like a refresher
Hmm.
from like American television. And I don't know why. And that was the shit for everybody. Like everybody was like refreshed by that. And that's cool. Like I'm glad that Netflix is branching out and doing other shit.
Nah, I feel that, bro. Cause like that's kind of what I like with a lot of those streaming networks too, bro. Cause like you saying with like Pluto and all those. Cause like I really been not Pluto. You said Peacock. I'll watch a lot of like Pluto TV, Tubi TV. You know what I'm
Tubi,
saying?
yeah,
Like
shout out to Tubi.
all those other ones, yeah, yeah, bro. Cause I love those black independent films. Some of them be so trash, but like some of them could be. They have potential to be real good. It's just it's low budget. That's the only thing
It's
about
a
it. It's
low
so low
budget
budget,
movie,
and then
yeah.
like it's a low budget. You have whatever
But
actors
the
on there, but
storyline
sometimes
be good as
bro,
shit
it be
though, bro. The storyline
the
be good as shit
storyline
in
be
them low
good, bro.
budget
It's
films, bro. Yeah.
but man, you be seeing them do some little this there, and you like they didn't even have to put this in the film. They didn't have to put this in
Okay.
the movie, but
All right, but hear me out
nah,
though. I feel like they be doing that shit. I feel like it happens like this only because they saying a lot of them films. They be saying a lot of real ass shit, but the white people don't want them saying that shit on fucking Universal. They, they're not about to pay these
yeah,
niggas to put it like budget out like a large film for some shit that they like. Oh, because like I said, a lot of the lines be good in there. Like a lot of the scripts be good, bro. It be the actors because they
it
can't pay the high budget actors to go up in there and act this damn role out. And then they show as hell don't have the sets to be going out there. They be having like 3 sets throughout the
and
entire movie, nigga. You know what I'm talking about? 3 different
yeah.
locations, 4 different
No,
locations.
I know what you're talking about, but it's kind of like at the same time, like the people direct, like the production for it is like people that ain't really known like that anyway. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
but
So like they trying to
that's
get
for Hollywood not to
everybody
do
trying to
that.
get their hands in there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but I
Yeah,
thought
you're right. I mean,
Hollywood is
but the
they're
thing is,
not taking
that's
up all
that
the
market is
roles.
saturated. Like,
Yeah,
bro, that
I
market's so
guess if you're not
saturated, bro.
making
And even
Black
the movies
Panther
out
full,
now.
yeah, I was gonna say if you're not making Black Panther and you're
Yeah.
not fucking what's that nigga's name? He been making Jordan Peele. That
Yep,
motherfucker been
Jordan
making
Peele.
so many
But I didn't
movies
really.
now, and he be really trying to make it black oriented for the most part, which is crazy. Even though
This is
I've
true,
heard he has a
but
lot of
like,
shit
have
that he's stolen. I don't know how true that shit is, but
I don't know about that
ideas
either.
have
He
been
probably has like he came up to Howard one time. Don't quote me on this. I heard from someone else's mouth too, but basically he made some type of comment that I guess some people didn't really resonate too well with or whatever. As far as like someone asking about what's creativity for these movies were, but then like, bro, I don't. Did you ever see Nope?
nah.
That one little alien movie or something like that. Like, I don't know, man. I saw a Note and I kind of have mixed feelings. Like, it was like honestly, it was all good. I love Kiki Palmer. I love that actor that played in Get Out too. Forgot his name. Was in Black Mirror as well and all that. But it's like I don't know how I felt about the concept of Nope. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you had the I ain't gonna really get into it because definitely if you haven't seen the movie, whatever, you should check it out. But it's
This is
kind
a
of just
Jordan
like
Peele film.
I feel like yeah, it's a Jordan Peele film. It's his film, and it's just like I don't know, man. I wouldn't know how to feel about it because it's just like it's too many concepts kind of going in one, and it's just like where do you go from there? Because like I know he isn't gonna come out with a Note 2 or a Get
He
Out
don't do
2.
that
You
shit.
know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
he
And
don't do
even
that type of shit.
he don't. And even if he were to, where is he gonna take it from there? Like these movies, like that's kind of like the concept that he's taken is kind of like why I enjoy kind of independent films because a lot of something like that. You know what I'm saying? It could be like it could sometimes it's kind of far out there, but it's not too far from home as far as like what we experience as black people, no matter what the situation is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you and me, we always gonna be like black men, basically. You know what I'm saying? So
Always
it's
get
like
treated like
no
one.
matter what that is at the end of the day, huh?
So you always get
You
treated
said
like
what?
one. I said you always get treated like one bare minimum, nigga. You can't be OJ. Even OJ still got
Nah,
OJ
nah, you
nigga.
definitely can't. You,
OJ got
you can't
OJ.
be OJ
I'm
or
not
you
black. I'm
or you,
OJ, nigga. You are
bro,
black.
bro, or you another type of version of Kanye, bro. Like you just some
Yeah,
radical,
yeah,
black person. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, man, or you could be like the whitewashed man in the office or something like that that just comes to the front desk all happy to see everybody, but you just try to uphold moral and principle. But you know what I'm saying, you can see here, bro, there's no a lot of times no one's really caring about moral and principles. It's a lot of virtue signaling, bro.
yeah,
There's so much people just like wanting people to know that we're all inclusive and we all fit the same tribe, man. That's pretty much it. Like there's no difference to it. And I understand like we want the inclusivity or people wanting that because that's how we move forward. That's how you have friends. Like, you know what I'm saying? Without any of that, you just a lone soldier. But at the same time, bro, you get so much more done. And you could really be in a different mind state when you just separate yourself and you focus on what you want to do and like what means more to you. And you surround people with you with those same ideals and those same kind of passions. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like one thing when because like really like people around you really shape you, bro. Only iron sharpens iron. And if you're not really looking at your team and seeing who's sharpening you, bro, you know what I'm saying, they more than likely possibly making you more dull. You know what I'm saying? They're not putting you closer to your goals. They're not really helping you, in certain places, but it doesn't mean you can't be friends. It's just your priority can't always be in those baskets, you know what I'm saying, and feeding people that aren't trying to feed themselves.
yeah.
You
That's
know
a
what I'm
big
saying? You
thing
want
though.
man. You want people to put food on there too, just as much as you put on there, if not more, if you put more, whatever the case is.
Yeah, I mean
You
that's the
know,
biggest thing. That's a
matching
that's
that
a big
energy.
thing, because it's like at the end of the day, like what we were discussing, you got to do what's best for you at the end of the day. And this goes back to the whole bank shit, and I think this is a good kind of full circle moment.
Everything
You
is
got to take
survival,
care of
bro.
your yeah, you got to take care of yourself, and if you're not around people that can understand that you got to take care of yourself as well as be a part of a group, but also again, your primary care is who you yourself, right? If they don't get that, bro, and they can't understand, bro, I got this going on, I got to do that. yo, I can't give you this, or I can't help you with that, and they take that shit personal, bro. That's on them. Because again, we are individuals. That's one thing that I think inclusivity is. That's what inclusivity is really about. Is that you accept all these
Hear me?
individuals. You know what I'm saying? You accept all the individuals, no matter what it is. So in that case, bro, if you're gonna be that type of a person, shit, I ain't for you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't that type of person that can rock with that type of shit because I think that it's like I said, everybody got to take care of themselves, and it's not to say like I said you can't help nobody. Just when it come down to it, it got to be a you thing. You know, it got to be something that you got to want to do. Because again, outside of that, watching the
No,
rest of the
that's
world go by, bro, if you're not focused on you, bro, you're gonna be in your, you're gonna be having your, what my parents call it, their dirt nap. You're gonna be in your dirt nap, wishing that you had a better
yeah,
life, wishing that you let yourself do what you
yeah.
needed to do instead of focusing on other people all the time.
Dirt nap, coming to Jesus moment, whatever it is, realization, epiphany. Like it's just like at the end of the day, no one's gonna really decide your life for you. You know what I'm saying? I was talking to my a good friend of mine's named, Derek Williams, and he does a lot of missionary work. And he said something that really like resonated with me. It's just like, everybody needs advice. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's gonna give advice. But like advice is subjective more than anything. Like it only is gonna mean so much to a certain person, and it's only gonna mean so much to the situation. It might not speak entirely to their situation. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes, like, a lot of times, bro, even now us speaking, you just need perspective. You know what I'm saying? Perspective of like something more than yourself and something more than just like what we're always around. Because day to day, man, it's easy to get caught up in the same cycles, hanging out with the same people, doing the same thing, wishing you were doing more, wishing you're doing this, but it's like, are you even focusing on yourself? Are you growing yourself? Are you getting caught up in the cycles of life? You know what I'm saying? Because like,
Do you do your
everybody has
laundry?
everything, man.
Do you
Like,
do you do your dishes? Do you do the basic things to survive, bro? Or are you just out there doing shit because you had the money, the time, and whatever, and and it's for social validation more so than again like what you need. And again, you could work off of other people's energy, bro.
yeah.
I'm not saying that you can't, but like, damn, fool, sometimes you need to be able to have that energy on your own, so that way, again, you could work off of other people's energy reasonably. Because again, that shit get tiring.
Nah, because like what you're saying with like laundry, even in like a physical or metaphorical like aspect of it, it's just like, everybody's got their dirty laundry, everybody's got their dirty dishes and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, even when it comes to relationships, who you dating, most times when it comes down to who you gonna be with long term, it's gonna be with who you can deal with the most at any time. You know what I'm saying? Understanding their quirks and understanding like how y'all both can improve and working from that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, if all that being the case, you still have to focus on you at the end of the day, and you still have to make sure that all the eggs in your basket are, accounted for the best they can, and that you're trying to be as neat and as clean to pick yourself up and keep yourself moving forward. Or else again, you're getting complacent, you're stagnant, you're kind of like in a space. And
Then
that's
who
not
are you?
always a bad thing. Like again, if you just
But also, then who are you at that
I
point?
mean,
You could do that, but just don't stand on a moral high ground with other people. Don't act like you better than nobody else.
yes.
If you're not doing that, that's the problem that I have with it. Like I said, it's okay to be stagnant. If you know that you're being stagnant, you know that you need to use other people to work on yourself. Whatever that is, bro. But if you're gonna sit on a moral high ground and act
Like
like you better than everybody else, talk about you don't do this, you don't do that, and I do this and I do that, and then I come over and I see that you don't do that, and I get into your life and I dig a little bit deeper and I see that you don't do what you say you do, I'm gonna think of you in a whole different light because again, that's just lying to me. Versus, like I said, like you said, everybody got their shit that they gotta work on. Ain't nobody gonna judge you, and advice is subjective. That's the reason, like you said, certain things work for certain people and other things work for others. But that's where you got to be brutally honest. If you're not honest about what works for you, then all the people giving you advice is gonna give you some shitty ass advice. You know?
and you just listening, and you constantly confused, and at times you could be lost, and you're like, bro, I wish I could just get something that's just direct and just get me there and get me into a comfortable space. But it's like at the end of the day, it's not a destination, it's a journey.
It
it's
just
the
gotta, like
travels.
I
You
said,
know what
you
I'm
gotta
saying?
be
Even when they
honest with
speak on
yourself.
the yeah. I mean, when you pick a path, two paths diverging in wood, bro, you can either take the most travel or the least traveled. Either way, you can't choose both. You know what I'm saying? You can only choose one path. You know what I'm saying? When you start to intertwine the two, you're playing with a lot of
Wasting
fire.
time.
Because at the end of the day, some people are yeah, you're either wasting time because you're covering more ground for no purpose. And then there are people that might be following you or looking at your direction. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, depending on where your position is or where you're, if you're leading anybody, it's like you have to be so assured of yourself and so honest with like what you're doing, what you want, and what, whoever's trying to feed and pour into you, what to actually take from that. Because you doesn't mean because they're feeding and pouring into you doesn't mean you have to take everything they're feeding and pouring into you. But you still got to appreciate, the fact that someone's willing to, because a lot of people don't have to. No one, like, there's no one, like you said, no one's better than anybody else, and you can't really have no expectations on everybody other than what's, commonly understood between the two of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it. If it's not understood between the two of you and you have the expectation, you might be wanting more out of somebody that they're never gonna give to you, or they might give to you if you are more willing to ask, or on the other side of it, somebody's taking too much from you and you're not creating the boundary to make sure that you're preserving your peace at all times. You know what I'm saying? Because you still got to preserve you and you got to preserve whatever you got the best you can, man, because it's still survival. At the end, whether it's beginning with the money, whether it ends with the money, whether it begins with the emotion, whether it ends with the fights or something like that, even if it's like situations in life, bro, all situations are just life lessons.
Yep.
You can either take the lesson from or you don't. You know what I'm saying? If you don't take the lesson, you're just gonna live it again, bro. Because wisdom can come from someone's mouth. You know what I'm saying? And you can take that in. You know what I'm saying? You can internalize and do whatever. But at the end of the day, sometimes you're gonna learn and experience that from actually doing. And you might do it like 3, 4 times before you actually learn what works for you, what you need to stay away from, or whatever. If you're not looking for that, you're just gonna keep repeating the lesson. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna something that's impractical to you. You know what I mean? It's just like you got to work in what makes more sense than just like, constantly taking risks that have no value. Because again, we're always taking risks, but what risks mean the most to you? What risks are going to provide the most value to you? You know what I'm saying? If you're buying something and it don't provide you too much value, why buy it? What does it do for you other than it's just you just wanted it for yourself or for your own mind or something like that? And to some degree, that's a you know that's more of a short term thing than it's a long term
Yeah,
thing.
that's a dangerous
It's
cycle,
short
man.
term. It's a dangerous mentality at times too, bro. Because if more people are dependent, it's hard. You can't think of yourself all the time. And then on top of that, like the more you do for yourself, the more it takes away from everybody else that depends on you, that you're providing for, possibly. So
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, nah, man, it's crazy. It's a crazy world we live in, and it's only progresses in whatever way we want to let it go. You know what I'm saying? As far as like your own personal world of survival.
yeah, that's definitely
I
for sure
mean,
true.
shoot, you know, because even with you, like you doing music, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't surround yourself with everybody that says they want to be on your bandwagon. You know what I'm saying? Or anybody that says they want to be a part of your vision. You know.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, in that case, again, it taints your creativity. To be honest with you, it's a reason why I like to say one of the reasons why I like to say that I'm doing music for musical purposes is to be kind of on my own and try shit that like isn't influenced by nobody else. You know what I'm saying? Where it's me, myself, and working on what I need to work on, and then what I like, and it goes from there. And then if you don't like that shit, then kiss my ass. That's just how that shit go. Cause it ain't about nobody else. You know what I'm saying? It's like I make music for me, and then I had some people that told me, "Yo, you should post your music." And at that point, I said, "Okay." After enough arguing and fighting, I was just like, whatever, y'all like it, I'll put it out and see where it goes from there. So me personally, like I'm one of them people that I just make the shit just cause I enjoy it. And now that I had the people that told me put it out, nah, I pay for shit, and I don't like wasting money, and nor do I like having some shit and not using some shit. It's like I'm already in that routine of posting. Cause if it were up to me, whenever I was 18, I probably wouldn't even be. Y'all wouldn't know what Relay F is, and y'all wouldn't like. I'd just be doing that shit in my own spare time, like bedroom shit, and it still is bedroom shit, but
But
I
then,
have like an image that I try and take care of. Not one that I care too much about, but it's like it's still me, bro. I still make music for myself and still make music for me. So I try and take care of that shit just as much as I take care of my personal image, nigga. you know, like that's
no,
whatever the
no,
post
it's your
is.
it's your brand.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, it's your brand. Like, if you're not taking care of your brand, like, or if you don't even have a brand, like, because everybody has some type of brand, like, whether you take an acknowledgement of it or not. Like, when you walk into an office, people see you as a certain way. When you walk into a job, people see you as a certain way. People are already judging you by the moment you walk in. They already have assumptions of how you're gonna act, how you gonna be, and what they gonna get out of you. You know what I'm saying? If they trying to get something out of you, or if they just trying to just move on with their life. Because a lot of times, man, like, everybody, it's crazy. Like, you could put it more like this: like, you're in your own story, you're the main character. Everybody else is a side story to you. Everybody else is a side story to you. Like, and if you're not really working towards nothing, like, it doesn't matter. Like, I know I seen on social media, like, people talk about that's the main character right there for sure. But it's like, bro, you're the main character. You know what I'm saying? And if you're really, like, what you're putting your focus to is what your attention goes to. You know what I'm saying? So if your focus is like looking at someone else's life and comparing how your intelligence ain't theirs, or if you got some insecurities or some jealousy in there, bro, you're never gonna grow. You're never gonna grow because you gotta worry about you. You just gotta do you. You know what I'm saying? It's really be like to have confidence to have people that you're working against, because sometimes that's motivation, and that might help you get more at the end of the day, but you still just getting it for yourself, whether someone's up against you or not. Or you know what I'm saying, like, the one ahead of you is where you want to be at. You know what I'm saying? And anybody behind you is trying to catch up to you realistically, and you just don't know who it is all the time.
that's a fact.
You don't, you know but like, it is kind of crazy, bro. Because, like, to even imagine, like, because how long would you say you've been doing music for? Like, the past, what, like 4 or 5? I know you've been doing it your whole life because you had different influences and whatnot. But like, would you say, as far as like the idea and concept of the brand of Real AF, how long has that been a thing?
About like 2.5, 3 years. Before that, I was
Two
something
and a
else.
half, 3 years.
I was a whole different alias, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I was under a whole different alias
Exactly.
doing like I
Exactly.
was still recording music, but I was on Apple Earbuds and just talking reckless and not necessarily trying to do anything more than just like be the rappers that I saw on television. Cause I didn't know how to like really express myself in the ways that I wanted to yet. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, you could just like
Mm-hmm.
listen to shit. And I also didn't know you could like go to a studio like anybody could go to a studio. Like I remember I heard Juice WRLD say the same shit where I was like, damn, all these kids of my generation had no like we grew up in a generation where going to a studio was like we thought you had to be signed to like a record label, bro. We thought you had to like, you know,
Yeah.
like nobody told us that you could just go to a studio that's down the block from you, fool, or go find your local studio, nigga, from Yelp or White Pages or Yellow Pages, nigga. Like nobody told us that shit. We just kind of like assumed that you had to be a famous person, know somebody in Nickelodeon or Disney, and get rich and famous, and then you might be able to be like, "Yo, can I make music and record an album after being a child star for you?" Like, nigga, that's not what it ever has been, and that's not ever what it was. We just had no clue because again, like the internet was still fresh, bro. You know, Like the internet was still really fresh
That's
and like
true.
what you really realistically knew, and then how many people could afford to actually purchase like gear like this, right? And then you have a hardware compressor, and then you have hardware like everything's in hardware. You don't just have one laptop with just, you know what I'm saying? Actually purchase $1,000 worth of a compressor or a microphone, and like that shit was like, unless you were gonna dedicate your whole life to this type of shit, like getting it on your laptop and making music on your laptop was not a thing. Like that, let's just get that out the way. Like you had
That's
eight
true.
tracks, you had 16 tracks, you had 12 tracks, 16s, 20s, 24s. Go, the list goes on, right? My nigga, like if you are not one of them people that was interested in sound, like you had no clue that all of this shit was like you could buy it and like make it yourself, but also at the same time, like nobody was gonna be willing to put that much money into investment. So again, if you were looking for a studio and you had no clue, bro, you were like me, kind of like lost in the world, expecting that again you had to get like signed or something, and just like write songs in your spare time and like rap over beats on YouTube and shit, and hopefully somebody be like, "Oh, you're talented. Let's go to the studio and record a song." Like, nah, nigga. Like then the internet era came, and like it became real quick for us to know, like, damn, like this kid doing this shit in his crib, why can't I? Then you just gotta beg mom and dad or save up from whatever job you got, and get you the just the basics, bro. And from that point, like you taking off and running.
No, it's true. Because I mean, think about how many times, like, even if you did have like any recording equipment, whatever the case was, like, you know, I mean, how many times somebody's making a mixtape and you know what I'm saying? It might not even be that good, but you could see like the potential. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so much, and it's so crazy. Like, even now, like you speaking with the internet, it's even crazy with the phones. You can record yourself from your phone if you got a good. Most times, you got a good enough phone to.
I was the original
Yeah, I
band
mean,
labber, bro. I have shit from band lab, but I hear all these kids like, oh my god, bro, I can record music from my phone, bro. Oh my god, band lab is like that. Y'all niggas don't know nothing about band. We were using BandLab my freshman year of college, like 2018, 2019, recording from that because we couldn't go to the studio. Like when BandLab would literally be the most glitchy system. Like I see the kids talk about BandLab, I'm like, y'all privileged ass motherfuckers, bro. Like when we was using BandLab, that shit would crash every 10 minutes, bro. Every 10 minutes. Then they came out with the app on your phone, right? Because before BandLab was just a website on your computer. It would just crash every 10 minutes because it was just like I said, it was a www.bandlab.com. It's not like a software that you install or nothing. It's just a web browser. So like imagine having 20 tracks on there of your vocals and a beat and different shit. That shit was crashing every five. These privileged ass niggas, bro. Like,
yeah, it
BandLab is
was
so good
it was a
now. Like,
domain. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like BandLab is so good you can plug up your own microphone, like one of these motherfuckers into your phone with the right plug, like uh connectors and shit, and you could record pretty much real music, like what we would consider to be studio quality music from your phone. But whenever I had started, that type of shit was like, it was like minimal. Like that's like the minimal shit that you could do. Like I remember whenever I still have my account where I could go back and just look back at all of that type of shit and see how minimal that type of shit was. And I look at it now and I'm like, damn. For one, I wasn't educated enough to know what the fuck any of that shit was. You know what I'm saying? Like an equalizer or a compressor or
Mhm.
any of that shit at the time, a de-esser. You can go, list goes on. I'm not about to get into all that nerdy ass shit. But I was like, I just had no clue at the time.
Of course.
Then as I got like more expensive equipment, I'll be brutally honest. I was like, I'm not gonna waste this shit. I'm gonna learn everything about this shit. So I do think that there's give and take with both of it. Cause like I said, yeah, like I still was able to make music for cheap, but I also didn't care as much because again, I wasn't invested nearly as much as I
As
am
much as
now.
you are now.
Yeah. So like now I'm like I really try to take the time to learn every aspect of what I'm trying to accomplish and not just skip a step because Now I can skip steps. Like I can skip everything. It's like I did skip a lot of steps, to be brutally honest with you, before I learned how to actually, make my own tracks and, work on guitar and be good enough to just make up a song type shit and just play some chords in a few seconds to do that type of shit. Before I was doing that, I was trying to like take beats off of YouTube and shit, which is like, again, you skipping steps. Like the whole part of music is like music, nigga. You know, like somebody else may have made it and that's cool too. Like I'm never gonna dish you for doing that, but like music, nigga. Like a lot of y'all are just talking in the microphones. Like take that shit serious. Like you want to be talented around the world. You want people to love you around the world. A lot of them motherfuckers. Adam Levine played the piano. Juice WRLD played the guitar. In general, my thing was is if you want to make music, don't skip steps. You can. Don't feel bad for skipping steps. It's the same way I always tell people if you live in your life and you hate capitalism, but you still got to go get a job and support capitalism, that's okay. Like you're living in this system of things. In this system of things, making music, you can skip steps. You can go on YouTube and do that shit. But just like in my head, like go back and find like what makes all of this shit valuable again. Because like whenever I was growing up, my whole thing was is there wasn't YouTube. Like for me to make music and for me to have beats and shit like that, I would have had to have played an instrument. So I got involved with it super early, because that's like how that's really one of the few ways that you can make music back in the early 2000s, bro. There wasn't a ton of computer Fruity Loop shit like there was, but again, not everybody had it. And I'm like 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. Like, no way I'm buying Fruity Loops, $1,000 fucking software for me to produce it 10 or 11 years old when computers are fresh out the gate. Let's just be brutally honest. But like back then, they were like that's where you got your talent from. I'm not saying you got to play an instrument to be talented, but like I said, there's a lot of people that are just like mediocrely talented at instruments that are so good at being an artist because they just understand the little concepts of being in of music, just music in general. So instead of just being, I love.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna mention any rappers. I'm not gonna mention any rappers because now I'm getting to the point where I'm getting close enough to a lot of these people with their video teams or whoever the fuck they work with that if I say some shit now and it comes out now, it's gonna bite my ass later, bro. But I'm not saying no more dumb shit like that about rappers, bro, because them niggas got feelings and they're salty just like how I got feelings and they get salty about shit. So, but there's certain people that I'm like, damn, bro, you just talking into a microphone, and I really wish that, because if they did add that talking with just one extra talent, bro, they're Iced in Stone is one of the greatest performers of all time. Etched in Stone is one of the greatest performers of
Mhm.
all time. So like I'm thinking, I was just saying before I got cut out, like Adam Levine be playing the piano and guitar, bro. Juice WRLD play the drums, piano, guitar, fucking. The list really does go on. McConan played the freaking piano. Like people that you would never expect that are just your favorite rappers and singers and shit. Whitney Houston could play instruments, bro. Kurt Cobain was a very lacking instrumentalist. Like the motherfucker sucked at the guitar. Like he is not a shredder. Like R.I.P. All due respect, but he is not like one of the greatest guitarists of all time. Like he plays really simple songs. But the fact that he took the time out to learn those simple things, it made him like, wow, like fuck, you're good, like you're crazy good, because 90% of people don't even do that. So imagine an era now where 90% of people don't do it, or they're just like I said, they're like YouTube motherfuckers that just sit at home and play. They don't push their brand. They don't record stuff at home. They're just chilling, content with posting TikTok reels and shit. For all the other people though that are pushing themselves, like I see all these rappers that are fucking amazing on the underground side of shit. And
Mhm.
they got these new sounds and new waves. I'm like, bro, you can make all of these. Like, stop paying for these producer shits, bro. Go get your bag, produce all of it yourself. Don't give nobody else no credit, fool, and take your bread and eat. Cause I do see how that works. From going from a
Mhm.
couple hundred streams to seeing a 30,000 stream song where I did everything myself and I actually am getting paid out more than fucking $10 for a song. and I don't have to pay nobody. I don't have to cut shit with nobody else, motherfucker. I recorded that shit all here. I engineered it all here. I don't have no fucking producer that did nothing for me. I guess the only person that I'd be paying out is the person that I covered. You know, like if Juice WRLD team wanted to come
Yeah.
back and be like, give me da 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 of whatever. But that to me, that's like minuscule. That's like pennies in a fucking bucket at this point because it's like, nigga, like I feel like I did what I needed to do, and the likelihood I'll get big enough for them to come back and want to get my ass is slim to none. So I made the money that I wanted to make off of it, and I didn't even have no intentions of it before because I tried to make a song that I really didn't think was that good, but other people said it was good, so I put it out. You know, and it was me playing the guitar, and people took it more personally. People felt like it was like a whole performance instead of just me going on, you know, and rapping over some YouTube shit. So that's really how I feel about it. Like I said, I don't mind people doing that type of stuff. I just want people to realize that you're a dime a dozen if you're doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like there are so many people that could just go out
Mm-hmm.
there and rap and sing. Like there's beautiful singers, bro. Like I know my mama sing better than I do, and she don't even try to make music. You know what I'm saying? So don't think you.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I want people to be like, don't think you that special. Go pick up some extra things, and you're gonna be special. Just like a few extra things, because most people just have the raw talent to rap or sing, but they won't go out and learn all this equipment shit. They won't go out and learn an instrument. They won't go out and do none of the extra shit that would make you a musician. That gives you all of the extra tools. So, yeah, bro. I mean, my alias and shit is gonna be real AF forever now. I fuck with it. I fuck with my brand. I fuck with my style, bro. And you know, like we talked about it yesterday. Focusing on you is like a big thing. You know, like I said, I have a lot of people that I get influenced by, and I don't mind their influence at all. I love their influence actually because it inspires me to keep going. You know what I'm saying? But I also know that at the same time, that if I take too
Yeah.
much from them, I'll never be me, nigga. On God, you know, like that's
Mm-hmm.
just it is what it is.
Bro, just you gotta stay true to yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? I definitely had a guest with, you know what I'm saying? And he's an actor, you know what I'm saying? He does film and whatnot too. But yeah, like you gotta stay true to yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? And you know, was there anything else you want to add to that note, or is that
No, I
what you
mean,
had
like I said, I think it's like a full circle thing. Like this was full circle from the start to the
yeah?
finish. You know, just stay true to yourself.
Nah, I feel that. Well, I guess we can go ahead and wrap this up. We've been going at this for about an hour and a half, my boy. So, it's always a good conversation between us. You know what I'm saying? We just gotta do better at actually putting the content out there. So shoot. Let me just, appreciate everybody listening to us for a time being, and we'll catch you another time.
Yeah.
Chronic Minds out.